Hi everyone, my name is Leanne and today I'm going to be bringing you a fiction book haul. I do have another book haul coming up later in this month, but that is going to be solely classics and poetry. Today I'm just going to be telling you about the general, mostly quite contemporary fiction that I have picked up in the past few weeks. You may notice that I'm in a slightly different filming location than I normally am. I normally film in front of the fireplace feature that is in my bedroom, but the lighting in that part of my room was just really bizarre today. It was really temperamental and changeable. So I'm filming in front of my bedside bookcase. I actually think it's a pretty cute filming location, not gonna lie. I might stay filming here for the next few videos and see how that goes. Let me know down in the comments if you think this is a cute filming location as well, and also let me know if you would be interested in me doing like a bookshelf tour. I wouldn't be interested in doing one of those bookshelf tours where it's like pull out every single book on your shelf, because that sounds like a lot of work and a lot of tedious work. Anyways, let's just get into the books. The first books I'm going to tell you about is the series called His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. So that is made up of 3 books. We have Northern Lights, The Subtle Knife, and The Amber Spyglass. I have read Northern Lights before and I enjoyed it. I wasn't as in love with it as a lot of people seem to be, but I am looking forward to carrying on with the series now that I have my own copies. And I actually managed to get these 3 in a book swap, so I've definitely done well there. If you somehow weren't aware, His Dark Materials is a YA fantasy trilogy. This first book is focused on a protagonist named Lyra and the strange mystical adventure that she ends up going on. I'm not too sure what happens in the next couple books, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how the story unfolds, and I think there are a lot of things that piqued my interest or confused me slightly or intrigued me in this first book that I will find out more about in the following 2 books. The next book I'm going to tell you about is one that I'm pretty sure you have already heard of, and it is Franklin and Luna Go to the Moon by Jane Campbell with illustrations by Katie Harnett. I was also sent this one, so I'm really grateful for that. As I said, I'm sure you guys have heard about this one. This is a children's picture book that follows on from the first book, Franklin's Flying Bookshop, that follows the adventures of a little girl named Luna and her dragon friend Franklin. And in this one, they go to the moon. I'm so excited to read this book. I loved the first one and I think I'm going to be reading this one just after I stopped filming this video because I am so excited for it. The next book I'm going to talk about is one that I also managed to grab for free, and that is Vox by Christina Dalcher. I hope one of those is right. This is published by HQ, and I managed to get this one because the brilliant Sammy, who is the sales executive over at HQ, came into my university to do a talk to the students on my publishing MA course. She did the same course as I'm doing 2 years ago, so it was really great to see what she's gone on to do, and she very kindly brought some free books in with her. So I very quickly bagsied this one because I've been really excited to read it. This is a dystopian feminist novel, so think following in the tradition of The Handmaid's Tale, but obviously this comes at a very powerful moment in the Me Too movement. This is a dystopian novel where women can say a maximum of 100 words per day. Women's bank accounts are frozen, their passports are taken away, they lose their jobs, and shockingly, they are no longer taught how to read and write. I love me a good feminist dystopian, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. Now onto the books that I actually bought for myself, although this first one does have a university story attached to it as well. So I picked up a thriller. I know, I actually bought a thriller for myself. It's happening, like, little by little I'm getting into thrillers. This one is Sticks and Stones by Joe Jakeman, and this is published by Harvill Secker. So the reason I picked this one up was because Joe Jakeman is an author that is local to Derby, and she also came in to do a talk with my MA publishing group alongside fellow author Roz Watkins, who is published also by HQ, so the same publishers that publish Vox. They both came in to do a talk about the publishing industry from an author's perspective, and they were just so interesting. I'm loving all the guest speakers on my university course. They're all phenomenal. So this is about what happens after a moment of madness when a woman locks her husband, who she has recently separated from, she locks him in their cellar. She wants to protect herself and her son from her husband, and her husband's ex-wife and new girlfriend end up tangled in this mess as well. Joe read us the first couple pages of this book and I was so drawn into it. I was obsessed, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. The next book that I bought for myself was Tin Man by Sarah Winman, and I have heard a lot of good things about this book, and it's a pretty slim one, so I feel like it's going to be one of those books that I read in one sitting. This is billed as like an almost love story. So it's about two characters, Ellis and Michael, who grow up together in Oxford. They are the best of friends. One day this very close friendship grows into something more. We fast forward around a decade and we find out that Ellis is now married to a person named Annie and Michael is nowhere to be seen. And this book is about what happened in those years in between. This definitely sounds like a book that is very much up my street, so I definitely want to read this soon. And this one is published by Tinder Press, and I've enjoyed a lot of stuff that they've put out in the past, so there are publishers that I really trust. Next book I have is Anatomy of a Soldier by Harry Parker, and this is published by Faber. You know those books that feel like they're following you around a bit? That's what I had with this book. I kept seeing it like in several different bookshops and I was thinking, oh, should I pick it up, should I not? And then I kept seeing it featured in YouTube videos. I ended up listening to a podcast with the author, and the next time I went into a bookshop and I saw it, I was like, right, this book is trying to get my attention, so I'm gonna give in. So this is about a captain in the army named Tom Barnes who is severely injured in an explosion. War stories don't really interest me that much. But what is super intriguing about this book is the fact that the aftermath of that explosion is told through 45 objects. It's not from the perspective of Captain Tom Barnes, it's not from the perspective of any other person in his life, it's not from the perspective of like this omniscient narrator, it is from the perspective of 45 different objects. And that's just so inventive and cool that I definitely want to read this one. And the final book I'm going to tell you guys about today is Paulina and Fran by Rachel B. Glaser. This is a book that was recommended to me years and years ago, and I cannot remember who recommended it to me, but they were someone whose like recommendations I really trust. But this book kind of fell off my radar, so when I saw it again, I was like, oh my god, it's that book that I never got around to reading. This is a story of female friendship, and female friendship is one of those things that you can just stick on the back of a blurb, and I will definitely be intrigued. Female friendship is my jam. This book is about the friendship between Paulina and Fran. They are two art students. They have quite different personalities. One is slightly more adventurous than the other, who is quite innocent. The connection between these two girls is intense and powerful, but it also becomes complicated. Fran ends up dating one of Paulina's ex-boyfriends, and then Paulina becomes obsessed with breaking them up. Ultimately, I believe this is a story about friendship and obsession and love, and it definitely sounds like one that I'm going to devour. Anyways, that's all the books that I'm going to tell you guys about today. Do let me know down in the comments if you've read any of them and what you thought of them. Positive opinions, negative opinions, I don't mind. Share them all with me. I'm really interested. Anyways, that's all for me today. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk to you in my next video.